Play with a big future.
Well, there it is. Fairfield defeating James Cook by 21-8. With me is Tim Webster from Eyewitness News, who's been to breakfast with Kerry Bowstead. You are a mad Eastern Suburbs supporter. Which way are you going in this match then? I suppose Manly.
Oh, definitely not. No, Parramatta. I tell you for why. I said it to somebody, and I've got a couple of bets on it too. I just think Parramatta will be hungrier to win today. And Bowie said this morning the team that desperately wants to win and is the hungriest will win the game, and I think it'll be Para.
Well, I'm from Parramatta, and I'm hungry because we haven't had breakfast yet. And, of course, the electronic scoreboard should be in operation come this time next year. As a result, the crowd that we used to get to grand final, something in the vicinity of the mid-50,000s, it's impossible. And, in fact, they're saying that 45,000 will be the top as far as today's crowd is concerned. On crowd control, generally, here's Graham Hughes with the man in charge.
Ray, with me is Superintendent Ray Williams. Ray, just how many problems do the police envisage today?
Well, we hope there aren't any, but you can always get the surprises, of course. We've had all sorts of things. The difficulty today is that there's a lot of building going on, and I'm a bit worried they might get into those building areas, and they're pretty dangerous, really.
I believe you had some trouble last night.
Yes, we did.
Of course, is Reg Gasnier. You've often done a lap of honour with this shield, you two guys.
Well, I was only saying to Monty today that we've carried this around the cricket ground, Ray. We've been very proud of it for St George, and here we
think they can go on and take the big one. Thanks, Davo. Right, well, it's almost cricket weather, but the last day of the Rugby League, there's the tip from Alan Davidson, Manly to win.
Could dominate the game, and the Parramatta backs. The Parramatta backs are very good.
Today you're in charge of the third grade match. Is a referee allowed to tip early on for those games as well?
No, really.
Well, good luck for that one, John. I hope today goes well for you.
Thanks very much, Graham.
John Gosher, who knows the pressure of refereeing grand finals. Girls, being cheer girls for Manly, do you have your own pin-up boys in the team?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we all do. We have our favourites that doesn't last very long, only the season.
Is there one player? Is there one player that stands out? Could I take a guess and say Phil Blake?
No.
It's not Phil?
No, it's not.
Who's the pin-up boy?
Can we give away names?
Yeah, why not?
Well, mine's Wayne Chisholm.
Okay. What about you?
Ray Brown.
Ray Brown?
Yeah.
The happy hooker?
Yeah.
All right, you all remember Matt.
Recorded now? Yeah, recorded. Do I say thanks, Manny?
Are we doing the try?
Hang on.
You got a try for that update? We have. Going to go to the try. Mike Cleary, back to Kate. Is that it?
So 8-0 with St George.
Right up. Just to remind them that they've got those profiles back there if they're in a period of not knowing what to do.
Oh, there, where's Michael? Is he working?
The hill. You sold. What do you got in the bag? Come on, Not counterfeit tickets, are they?
He came out of court to 7. My break it out and he was 7.
What teams are selling?
My bloke split that in.
Maybe you get $50 today selling cash.
Stand by, Ray.
We've got that try to go to, have we? Right.
15 seconds.
I might ask you a political question.
Stand by, here we go. 4, 3.
Who's this? Yeah, Damien.
Welcome back to the Sydney Cricket Ground on Grand Final Day 1983. The reserve grade progressing along nicely for St George. They're leading 8 points to 0. I believe they scored a try just about 5 minutes back. Max Crilly.
That's right. It was an intercept try by Michael O'Brien. He raced about 30 metres straight onto the post and Brad Wilson converted.
So there it is, St George leading by 8 points to 0 over the Penrith Panthers in the third grade grand final. With me is a man who knows a lot about grand finals, Michael Cleary. How are you?
I'm well, Ray. Nice day too, isn't it?
Beautiful day. It's a real Sydney day. Michael, grand finals, how many did you play in?
4. Because the 69 one with Balmain when we were favourites and we went down, that would have been 4 wins, but we got 3 out of those 4.
Do you remember that 69 grand final more so than some of the ones that you took out?
Oh, yeah, I remember it because we lost it and we shouldn't have, and also what brings it home as well is Terry Parker over there at South Sydney, because he played in that and now is the secretary of the football club and the league club.
Mike, we've been talking about this crowd today. The police will chop it off at around 45,000. I guess these two clubs, with the interest... No change in third grade grand final score. St George still leading Penrith 8 points to 0. And during all the activities and what have you here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, some parachutists have made their drop. And taking up the story, Tim Webster.
Thanks, Ray. The fellas from the New South Wales parachute team. There they are there. You can see the helicopter. Just about to leap from the helicopter. Wayne Larkin is one of the fellas, and Graham Hill from the New South Wales parachute school team. And in keeping with the sentiment of early this morning, they're carrying the Australia to break before we go to reserve grade. They're quite amazing, these fellas. They jump from thousands of feet out of the air and can manage to almost pinpoint themselves right in the centre of the Sydney Cricket Ground within a couple of feet. Then there's a lot of training goes involved with that. New South Wales parachute school team. They are Wayne Larkin and Graham Hill throwing the Australia 2 flag, and of course the smoke from the heels as the second fella just about to hit the centre of the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Can you swap the mics?
Doing all right, but that's what they're for.
Don't throw to anyone and don't take a throw from anyone. Max has joined me, so there's a couple of other fellows into the Winfield Cup. That's what it's all about.
Come and get me about half an hour, so...
See what Max thinks of today. This is the first time we've seen Max today.
Where am I starting here? I'm starting here.
We're recording, mate.
Well, Max Kulich has just joined us, and Max, I have a couple of other characters.
Yeah, very famous men, aren't they?
Max, what does that magnificent cup signify for you?
South against St George in the final. In those days, of course, you only had a grand final if the minor premiers were beaten. But since then, they've been all grand finals. Yeah. So, well, counting the two that had to be replayed, 77 and 78, I suppose, I could say that this is my 33rd.
In a row?
That's right, yeah.
Mate, I know this is probably a hard question for you, but what are the big games? What are the best ones you remember?
Oh, there are many big games, but the best grand final I remember is here in 1963 between St George and Western Suburbs, when St George won 8-3, and it was on the day it was muddy, and that gladiator picture was taken. You remember?
Yeah.
Norm Provan and Summons. Yeah. That's right. But the best game, or the one that I remember more vividly than the others, was the second test in Swinton in 1963 again. When Australia won the Ashes for the first time since 1911, and that was a win by Australia 50-12. Now that was the greatest performance I've ever seen.
Yeah. All right, now the two teams that everybody thought were going to be in the grand final are in it. Who do you think's going to win it?
Well, Tim, it's a bit difficult to say one team will win because, because that's the beauty of rugby league. It's so unpredictable, and that is why last season's grand final can't be used as a guide, nor can last week's form. But I think the current form of Manly and the fact that they have improved in personnel. Now, when you see Bastet and the other players that they've had from East, you see, to improve them, I think that they have improved since last grand final, and I don't think Parramatta are playing as well as they did last time. So if I have to go for one, I'd say Manly.
Last question. Is this going to be Frank Hyde's last Rugby League Grand Final on the radio?
Well, yes, it's going to be my last broadcast of a Rugby League game. I've decided to finish broadcasting Rugby League, but of course I may be in another capacity,
Thanks, Tim. Rugby League, I'm sure, won't be the same without that great man. Good luck to Frank today on your last call. Well, there's 11 minutes to go now in the third grade game. Ray Warren's up in the commentary box. Ray, how is the match now?
Well, at this stage, Graham, it's 8-6 in favour of St George. They led 8-0 for a good portion of the match, but Penrith came back with this try. Marvin Hicks goes over to score very close to the post. It went from Gig, and eventually the try was scored by Marvin Hicks, but the disaster for Penrith was still to come. They failed to convert from that very close proximity to the upright. So St George leading Penrith by 8 points to 6, repeating the schoolboy fixture played earlier, went to Fairfield Patrician Brothers 20-21, defeating James Cook High 8. And now let's take the cameras of 10 Sports out to Parramatta and to Graham McNeath. He's taking a shot at goal that will bring Penrith level with St George if he's successful. Mark Cannon, playing for St George, was sent off, and we've picked up the picture now live for you. This was the result of the touch judge report to referee John Gosher, a high tackle, and here comes McAlpine with this shot. It's getting a little bit wide, no goal, so St George still leading by 8 points to 6. St George 8, Penrith 6 in the third grade grand final. Here's a break. You're watching Grand Final Day 1983.
the most dedicated Manly supporter in Sydney, I think you are.
Well, I'm one of them. Myself and Malcolm Johnson, I think. Yeah.
Why? Why is Manly going to win today? What do you think?
Well, I think I think it's the right time. I think they were very disappointed last year. I think Bobby Fulton's a big force there now, and I think it's the time. I just can't put my finger on it in words. I think they're both very even teams, and I have the utmost respect for Parramatta, and but I think it's Manly's year.
Manly's year 1983.
Yeah.
I'll let you go up there and rest in the member stand and get ready for the game. Doug Parkinson. Graham Hughes, back to you.
Yes, thanks, Tim. We're in the Parramatta room, which, by comparison, is it's a fairly low-key sort of approach here. Manly room, of course, there was plenty of streamers and messages around. There are, of course, on the table here plenty of telegrams. Telegrams from the Mayor of Parramatta, Mr. Stan Dixon. Telegrams to all the players and Jack Gibson from their friends and relatives. But there's a telegram here especially from the Minister for Sport, Mr. John Brown. And quite a nice note to finish on. It goes on to say, "For the Eels, there is no shame. Stop. They are all gallant gentlemen. Stop. Good luck. Stop." Mr. John Brown, the Federal Minister. And with that note, Ron, I think that's a nice touch just to finish on for the Eels. Back to you in the studio. Well, it's a rather long one, Ron. So I guess we might be weighing in there to help him out.
I'm off to yours. No blood in my hand.